Hello, good afternoon and welcome to P2P Live. So Friday afternoon at 12:30 is our regular jobs and employment market update where we give you an update of what's happening around Australia in the jobs and employment market. My name is Catherine Kennedy. I'm the Managing Director of People2People here in New South Wales. Very happy to be hosting today's special guest host appearance while Mark Smith is having a well-deserved break. So we've got a lot to get through today. Before we get into it, I did want to acknowledge that I'm coming to you today from Gadigal country and pay my respects to elders past and present. So look, what's happening today, we've got a pretty packed agenda. Before we get into it, I did just want to mention a couple of things. So one is I wanted to do a shout out to an organisation that People2People is partnering with. We've signed a pledge with this organisation. They're called Soldier On. So there was actually an event last night, you can see that up on screen there, that we went along to. Soldier On's a really amazing organisation that is all about helping veterans and facilitating veterans in their post-military life. So included in that is in terms of employment opportunities, and we're working with Soldier On. And so I thought, particularly given Anzac Day is approaching on Monday, I wanted to do a shout out to Soldier On for the great work that they do. And I also wanted to acknowledge all of our servicemen and women, past and present, for all of the service that they give for our country as well. So shout out to Soldier On. The other thing is that today is Earth Day. So Earth Day is a day where around the globe we're encouraged and we're to mobilise to really do what we can to save the planet. So there's a little bit of a green theme to our broadcast today, and we'll be joined towards the end of the live broadcast by Aiden Boast from our Sydney team, and he's going to give us some tips around sustainability and what we can do. The theme for this year for Earth Day is invest in our planet, and I think given the number of pretty extreme weather events that have been happening around the place, that's top of mind for a lot of people. So that's coming later, but before we get into that, we've got our regular numbers section. There's been some unemployment figures that have been released lately, or recently I should say, that I will share with you. We've got 3 urgent jobs. They need to be filled today, so we could talk to you, we could place you in the position and you could start literally straight after the long weekend on Tuesday, so we'll bring that to you. We have a permanent position from our supply chain team here in Western Sydney. They've been really busy, so I've got that opportunity to share with you. As I said, we'll talk to Aiden about sustainability in the workplace, and then as always we have our regular Twitter poll, and we'll bring you the results from last week and also the new poll for the week ahead. So that's the plan for today. Let's jump into it with our regular numbers section. Great. So look, what you can see on the screen there is the recent figures that have been released around unemployment. So February versus March, and then there's also some data there around the yearly change. And look, it's no great surprise. There's certainly a number in there that I know one of our politicians is probably not going to forget anytime soon, given the gaffe that happened a week or so ago. But unemployment is really at record lows, or it's the lowest that it's been since the 70s. So the unemployment rate sits steady at 4%. There was a slight increase in the number of people that were employed. So nearly 18,000 people were employed. 18,000 more people were employed in March than in February, and the underemployment rate also declined. So people are getting more work than they were the month before, and there's really quite substantial differences to the year before. So you can see unemployed people, there's a 30% change from February 2021 to February 2022. So I don't think it's any surprise really to anybody watching that we have very, very low unemployment at the moment. The impact that's having to the market is that it's definitely hard to find good quality people, and I know our team is very busy in terms of demand for jobs, and finding the right candidates is not always easy. So interesting data there that's just been released. If we go to the next slide, please, Jacob. Shout out to Jacob as well, who's behind the scenes and does such a good job week on week. So this gives you a more historical perspective of the unemployment rate. So it goes back to March 2012. You can see on the screen there. Huge spike through the depths of the pandemic, or the height of the pandemic, I should say, but it's been consistently declining, and now in March 22, it is at 4%, which is the lowest it's been since 1970, I think is the date. What's interesting, you can't see it on the screen there, but there is actually a bit of a disconnect between female unemployment and male unemployment. I think female unemployment is even at 3.7 or 3.8, so even below 4%, and the male unemployment is about 4.1 or 4.2. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there in terms of men and women, which leads quite nicely, I think, to the final slide that I'll get you to show there, Jacob. So this is the participation rate. So looking at the entire population and the percentage of participation in the workforce, men, women, and then all people. So the orange line you can see down the bottom there is females. The dark kind of blue navy line at the top is men, and then the lighter blue in the middle is the average of the two. So there has been a consistent increase in participation since the pandemic. You can see it was less than 60% for women in March 2020, less than 65 for men, less than 65 for all people and less than 70 for men at that time. There's been a market increase in the participation rate, particularly of women, in the last couple of months. So I think women are sitting at about 62, 63%, and men just above 70%. So it's an interesting observation that there's still a difference in terms of participation in the workforce, but certainly participation is increasing across the board. So that's really it for our numbers section. I'm sure, as always, we can include the links to where some of that data's come from, just so if you wanted to do your own further reading or research, then you're able to do that. But we'll move on now to the jobs that we've got to fill. They're really urgent. I know the team, certainly the team here in Sydney where I'm standing today, there's just lots and lots of opportunities, and they're scrambling to get people to start in those opportunities quite quickly. So we've got a couple of jobs that we will show. If you wanted to bring those up, Jacob. Field Job Friday. So yes, it's Field Job Friday, and there's, as I said, a number of roles across the country, so in different locations. So the first that's being led by Alia, in our Sydney team here, is a customer service consultant. I think it's to start literally as early as Tuesday, so just after the long weekend, looking about $30 to $32 an hour, high volume calls and email queries. So you've really got to have that strong communication skills, and experience in a call centre would be really highly regarded. So Alia's details are on the screen there. If you're interested, please make sure that you reach out to her. Up in Queensland, so a retail sales consultant. I think it's about a 6-month assignment initially. It could extend beyond that. Georgia from the Brisbane team is leading that, looking ideally at retail experience previously, and you need to have that strong customer centric focus. So reach out to Georgia if you're interested in that. And the third one that we can share with you today is from Victoria. So this is a bit of a mouthful, rental and used equipment administrator. So it's working with a warehousing equipment company, reports to the sales manager, and so looking for those strong administration and customer service skills. Once again, it's a temporary opportunity. There is a chance that it could become a permanent role. $30 an hour, and that is being led by Will. So his details are on the screen there. So you can call any of those consultants. You can jump onto our website if you're interested and find the relevant contact or the relevant advertisement, or you can, and I'm not sure if we've got the slide, but there's also a tool, there we go, Vply, which is a way that you can send your CV in with a video, and you can do it on the fly. So you might be on the bus, on the train, running around doing whatever you need to do, and rather than getting back to a computer and attaching your CV, you can just go to Apply, and it's all very straightforward there. So if you're looking for work, please reach out to the team for any of those roles, or hey, if you're looking for a new opportunity and you're ready to start working straight away, I'm sure the team would be very keen to talk to you. So that's that. What we'll do now is we will talk to Aiden Boast. So Aiden is in the Sydney office where I am, although he's in a different room. I think he's over there somewhere, but we might go and have a chat to Aiden and find out a bit more about sustainability in the workplace. Hello, Aiden.
Hi, Kath. How are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. And it's Earth Day, so all very much focused on sustainability and looking after the environment and looking after our planet. And I'm told that you're the man to talk to about some quite practical tips in terms of sustainability in the workplace. So what would you suggest?
That's right. Yeah. So many businesses are claiming to be environmentally friendly and have introduced more sustainable initiatives throughout their organization for the last few years. So my question is to anyone watching is how green is your company? So I have a few tips I wanted to share. So the first one is encouraging green commuting. So many companies incentivize employers to lower commuting emissions through walking, biking, and carpooling together, or even just taking public transits rather than driving into work. So I know a lot of companies as well with COVID have offered that work from home flexibility to reduce employees' carbon footprint as well. So there's my first one. Second one would be to create employee-led focus groups. So I know at People2People, we're great believers that action speaks louder than words, and we are committed to our community and assisting those that are changing the lives of others and improving our planet. So we have a focus-led group called People to Planet, which aims to look at our sustainability efforts through promotion of recycling and eco-friendly work practices and paperless approaches to recruitment as well. So I know when I first started, it would be in the office, printing off a resume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's reams and reams and reams of paper that we used to get through, I think. And there's very little paper out there, I know now, which is just a small step. But I think, the sum of all of that put together is pretty significant.
Yeah. And the last one I wanted to share was plants. So we've got a lovely new office. As I think it's a year ago since it was renovated actually. And we have some lovely plants in our office now. So three of my favorite plants, mother-in-law tongue. So it's a striking plant. It can be put in small pots or larger planters depending on the space that you have. It's quite resilient, so you shouldn't kill it.
I need something that's pretty foolproof in terms of needing to.
Yeah. So I think it's half a cup of water a week, and you'll be grand. And I was reading up as well. So NASA actually did a study on mother-in-law tongue plants as well, and they actually have a chemical which is commonly found in cleaning products. So it's quite a cool plant to have. Trailing plants, so like devil's ivy, mistletoe cactus, or chain of hearts is another one as well. So there's a few different ones there. And then the last one is probably one of my favorites is fiddle leaf fig. I always find it really hard to pronounce that. It's got to be one of the trendiest ones going at the moment. So they're a little bit more sensitive, so they are a little bit harder to look after. But just get plants in your house, in your workplace. It really does make a difference.
Yeah, and also, let alone environmentally, it obviously makes a difference. But I think certainly for me, I know it makes a difference to my mood and to my mental health, just having greenery around me in the office as well. So that's some good tips from you. Thank you, Aiden. And I agree with you that it very much is within workplaces. It's each of us as individuals, and it's all coming together to do our bit. And I'm proud of the sustainability initiatives that we have here that are really driven from the team. And I'd encourage other organisations to consider doing something similar as well. Thank you, Aiden. Thanks very much. I should give you a plug. You are a recruiter as well, and no doubt you would like to talk to great candidates. So if anyone's looking for work, how can they reach you?
Yeah, you mentioned the urgent jobs, and I'm going to have to jump in and put a shout out. I am looking for site administrators. It's just a week and a half to start on Tuesday. It's in the CBD, but the only thing I'm struggling with is a 6:30 a.m. start. So if you're good organisation skills, you're an early morning person, give me a call on my details below. I think I just popped up there because I will definitely have a job for you. It's $31.90 plus super. It'll be to start on Tuesday.
And it's a 6:30 start, but an earlier finish, of course.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds great for those of us who like the morning. Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Aiden. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you again on P2P Live soon.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Now, I've realised that I completely forgot to ask Jacob to play the video for the supply chain, the permanent role that we've got. So I hope I haven't thrown you too much in the background there, Jacob. I don't know whether we can play that video now or not. If we can't, then I'll make sure that it just gets shared in the chat there.
Hi, Tiana Kokorogiannis here from the Supply Chain and Operations team at P2P. We are currently recruiting for a planning analyst based in Chullora, conveniently located with public transport close by or the option to park on site. This role will see you supporting the company's corporate planning, analysing the distribution of products and sales, and managing customer information and administrative duties. To name just a few of the required attributes, the ideal candidate would have excellent time management skills, great communication, both written and verbal, and previous proven experience in the same or a similar industry. Most importantly, a can-do attitude is essential. This is an exciting opportunity to work alongside a well-established, globally recognised company specialising in manufacturing auto and truck parts. This role has a very competitive salary on offer and provides the chance to play a significant part in the organisation's customer experience. If you're keen to build and develop new skills, as well as your existing skills in the industry, click the link below to read the full position description and learn more about the technical skill requirements. Alternatively, please feel free to contact me via phone or email for more information. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Great. Thank you, Jacob, for doing that. I'm sorry that I got things out of order, but I know that the supply chain team are incredibly busy, and I know that role particularly would have got you in a bit of trouble if I didn't make sure that was shown. So, look, we're almost done for the day. So the last thing, as always, is just to share the results from our Twitter poll last week. So the poll last week was that the question was, since returning to work in the office in 2022, how have you found the team atmosphere compared with pre-COVID lockdowns? And interestingly, about 30% said, hey, it's the same. Just under 19 said it's improved, but the majority of people have said it's not as good as before. So I thought that was interesting, and perhaps that's a reflection of just not having kind of, a lot of people in at the same time. Maybe there's a little bit of a lack of that kind of vibe in the office. So I thought that was interesting from the Twitterverse last week. This week, our question for you is it a bad idea to resign from a job after a short period of time? So what do you think if you get into a job and you think, oh, maybe it's not for me? Is it a bad idea for you to make that decision to go quite quickly? So yes, can raise questions. No, you need to love your job, or it depends on your job. So we'll bring the results to that question next week. So please jump onto Twitter and have a look at that. And if you've got any comments that you'd like to make more broadly, then please engage with us on any of our social channels as well. Thank you so much for watching us today. Hopefully everyone gets to have a nice long weekend. I think the weather's going to be pretty miserable here in Sydney, but we got some good weather for Easter, so hopefully people can just relax, enjoy. Obviously, we're marking Anzac Day on Monday, and I think that needs to be acknowledged with respect. But hopefully everyone has a lovely weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.